Hello, everyone, and welcome to AppStack, our monthly webinar series where Salesforce customers talk about their favorite apps and why, and how they're using them in their business. Super excited today. We've got two amazing customers, as well as our host, Geraldine, who will be kicking it off and taking it from here. So, Geraldine, how are you? Take it away.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the AppStack. We're here today to talk to some of our favorite customers about some of their favorite apps. If you haven't heard of the AppStack before, let me tell you. It is a tool that we have from the AppExchange, which allows you to put together your dream stack, a stack that you use in real life, or a stack that you've used in a past life, and then share that with other people so that we can see how customers and partners solve real business problems using real AppExchange apps. So from today, we have, let's have a look at our lovely smiling faces of our team members. Amanda, can I have the next slide, please? Perfect. Okay. So I'm Geraldine Gray. I'm a Salesforce MVP. And with me today is Amanda Nelson from Salesforce. Today, our participants are going to be Aaron Peterson, who is the VP of Customer Experience at Mintigo, and Chris Pearson, who's the Director of Product Applications at HFF. Aaron, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you have been using Salesforce.
Sure, thanks, Geraldine. My name is Aaron Peterson. I run customers at Mintigo. I have been a Salesforce user now for, my gosh, close to a decade, I suppose. First as sort of a tag-along wannabe, delighting in all the things that other people built for me, and then getting further and further into it myself. I now run the Salesforce Women in Tech user group for San Francisco. I'm a Salesforce AppExchange All-Star, and I am a complete data nerd. I spend all of my time at Mintigo. We do AI-based predictive modeling and things like this for our customers to help them identify their best targets. And I love that I get to spend my days in systems and tools and data, both for my own purposes and to help my customers. So it's a real delight to be here, and I'm excited to dig into some of this.
Perfect, thank you. Chris, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Please tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now for work and how long you've been using Salesforce. How did you get into it?
Sure. So Chris Pearson, I'm the Director of Production Applications, which includes a host of different business applications that we run here at HFF, which is a global commercial real estate firm. I'm based in Houston, Texas. I've been working with Salesforce for about 6 years now. My responsibilities are all about just enabling our end users to understand and work with their clients better through CRM. So I've got experience with sales automation, marketing automation, and everything in between.
And remind me how many people you have in your team, because you have a crew of Salesforce people at HFF, right?
Yeah, we've got about 5 different Salesforce professionals, all the way from administrators to developers to BAs, and then, of course, a host of super users that we love to engage with as well.
Okay, perfect. So you have some really great apps to show us today as well. So Amanda, let's go ahead and take a look at Aaron's stack. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, Chris first. Okay, Chris, let's go ahead and lead into your stack. So.
Sure.
There we go. Perfect.
Well, this is my app stack. Let me start with really what's core to CRM and to Salesforce and everything that we do, which is everyone's favorite 4-letter word, data. So like as Salesforce professionals, we are constantly spending our time either uploading data, modifying existing records, even merging duplicate records. And so you need tools to help manage that. And while we love the Salesforce data loader, it's great at uploading data and helping continue to keep your CRM operating nicely. Demand Tools is a product that we use to actually help us compare data to what's in Salesforce to what's offline. So for example, we continue to hire new employees who bring Rolodexes of information that usually comes in the form of an Excel file to us. And how do we get that data into Salesforce without creating duplicates? Well, that's what we use Demand Tools for. It's got really great powerful algorithms that can help you find and match data from offline sources compared to Salesforce, so you're keeping your org in tip-top shape. So moving down our stack, let's say, so we've got our data cleansed and updated and merged, but how do we maintain clean data? And oftentimes our end users, even our executives, say that the solution to clean data is more required fields or more validations. That's really not the approach that we like to take. We like to be able to maintain the companies and contacts that we have in our system with as much current information as possible, because really after you've created that record in Salesforce, it's really starts to grow stale from there. And that's where we brought in Clearbit. So Clearbit has a host of attributes that can be used to automatically map into your Salesforce and fill in the blanks or flag duplicates. But it's not just going to fill in the blanks or highlight any differences on those standard fields. Clearbit comes with 55 different company attributes such as industry, revenue, fiscal year end that can be used for a lot of great purposes that are coming to mind, and 40 plus contact attributes. Your LinkedIn URL, Twitter URL, great stuff for your end users that are just really helpful data updates. There's even something that I still want to actually look into called your Gravatar URL. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds cool.
Okay, I'm glad you said you didn't know what it was, because I was going to say, what is a Gravatar URL? Yeah,
exactly. You just want to find out more about it when you hear that name. So in the vein of data, let's say you're an org that has multi-currency. So for us, HFF just opened our first London office ever last year. That brought a host of new complications because everything was really geared towards US dollar. So we know that Salesforce can support multiple currencies. But in order to meet those requirements of your executives who really want to see an accurate forecast and see data in the currency that they know what to expect, you need to maintain the exchange rate of all of those currencies. But that can be really meticulous and manual going in, because currency rates change almost every minute of every day. So that's where we're using S4G, which is a free app that automatically will update your exchange rates in Salesforce according to whatever you want. It can be weekly, daily, monthly, and it's using Yahoo Finance to keep that data accurate, so you know you can trust it. Continuing the theme, the four-letter word that I've said over and over again, data. So we all know that end users love list views in Salesforce. They're a great way of building a view of data in a spreadsheet form, but there's some limitations. You can only query the information that's stored on that object. Well, then we have reports, and reports are great because you can do some advanced analytics. You can put some charts, graphs, and really visualize your data. But we found there's a different need for our end users. They're wanting the same power of list views with reports, but they need to be able to see that information sometimes on a map. Sometimes it's planning a road trip. Sometimes it's figuring out who they're going to call or who they're going to visit, or understanding just sort of where their different opportunities are shaking out. And so that's where Ascendix Search came into play, where it allows the end users to build complex searches, share them with other folks, other users within your org, and then overlay a really simple Google map so they can really narrow down those results. So big fan of Ascendix Search and what they're doing in that product. Moving down the stack, yeah.
Christopher, let me ask you a question about Ascendix. Okay, give me an example of how the salesperson would use it this afternoon. So I go into Ascendix Search, I have a set of, what might my data set look like? What might I be looking for?
So for us, let's think about, I've got to speak to really our use case. And within our org, we have of course, contacts and accounts, but then we also have another custom object called a property, just like a piece of a building, a piece of land. And so our users build lists of these contacts, and then of course they're tracking them against the properties that they own or used to own. And so I may have a list of all my contacts in Texas, but perhaps I'm taking a trip out to LA. So I want to see who are my contacts that own property in LA with a company that meets a certain criteria. So with that various scenario, we're actually traversing across a relationship between 3 different objects. And so a Syndic search allows that to occur for your end user. There's really very little admin setup, and with a little bit of training, your end users can be coached on how to build those searches and then visualize what's going on in those results on a map.
So essentially, they're building a joined report without even knowing that they're building a joined report, and then they're getting a visual representation of that.
Exactly, and they're allowed to export. You're realizing all the same value with reports with a Syndic search. You can export those results just like you can with a report. You can share it just like you can with a report. So they've taken sort of the best of both list views and reports, and then married them together into an intuitive, advanced search interface with a map overlay. The map part is really great for us. There's even an overlay for some charts and graphs. So if you're used to Lightning experienced list views, you can build list views that have some charts, and you can do the same thing within a Syndic search. You just have more data at your fingertips.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you. What would you like to tell us about us next? Because this is really helpful, I think, for folks. I've never heard of Ascendix. You've reminded me in the past about the S4G Yahoo update. I always forget about that one. Let's wrap up and tell me what else we're going to talk about on your stack.
Well, okay, let's end it up with two things at the end on the collaboration front. So we all know and love Salesforce approval process. They're great for configuring business process. The admins can create them and enable them for end users. But what are people not good at? Remembering to approve or reject approval process. So approval process reminders, a simple app. I wouldn't use it on every single approval process, but what it's going to do is if there's a pending approval, every day that approval is pending, an email notification is going to go to that person who's pending their approval. So it's really great for commissions, certain types of discount approvals, really those processes that you're okay with being a big nuisance to your end users. So don't apply it for everything, but it's just a great way if you're actually seeing some lag time on your approval process flow. And finally, the last thing would be in the space of collaboration, Lightning for Outlook. So our end users have loved Salesforce for Outlook, except for when they didn't. It can sometimes slow down their computer. And speaking from a product owner standpoint, we were very limited in what we could customize about Salesforce for Outlook. How can we give our end users an experience like no other, an HFF branded experience with custom functionality that will help them do their work? And that's where Lightning for Outlook came in. So that's what we're getting ready to launch, which is a cloud-based productivity tool that works right in your Outlook. It even works on the internet version. So within Outlook in the browser, you can access this native functionality and have the same functionality that you're used to with Salesforce for Outlook. The ability to attach your emails to records, search, update, and create records within your system.
And then I know that you can't give it all away, but you are actually able to use custom Lightning components within Lightning for Outlook, right?
That's right. So a great thing about Lightning for Outlook is it uses the Lightning app builder in Salesforce. And so our developers have built a custom Lightning component that I actually helped sort of steer, which was inspired by Amazon Alexa Show. This little device is in my kitchen, constantly giving me cards of headlines of information that's relevant to me. Sometimes it's relevant, sometimes it's not. And so we took that same approach and built a set of automated cards that are essentially giving the end user some headlines about what's going on with the contact and the company that's in their email. So if I'm looking at an email from Geraldine, my new Insights panel, which is what we're calling it, tells me the exact last time I've met with Geraldine Gray, or it'll tell me I've never met with her, but it'll tell me someone else in my company has met with Indium, which is Geraldine's company. It may even tell me if there's been a deal with Indium, if there's been a stage change recently, or if there's been key activities, such as maybe we had a briefing, or maybe we have an SOW out for review. Those types of things, of course, translated to commercial real estate, are what we're using Lightning for Outlook for.
Brilliant. Okay, so all your stack is all about data. It's all about giving the users information. Remind us how many users you have on the platform.
We've got 800 users. We are Sales Cloud, and we are Lightning experienced, and we are launching Marketing Cloud for our organization next year.
Wow, and 800 users, most of whom using these apps, or the apps running in the background, they don't even know that they're doing half their job for them.
That's right. Actually, with our culture of HFF, Salesforce is optional. So we're really, our goal is to really entice the end users, giving them a great experience, giving them a better mousetrap than what they've had before, so that they can be more effective and know their clients better.
Brilliant, thank you. So my question for you, Chris, to think about while we look at Aaron's stack is think about if you could have any app, paid or free, or maybe not even invented yet, what would that be? And then I'm going to come back to you at the end and get your comments on that question. So thank you. Really, really interesting, and a great use of a huge number of applications that will really help users on the AppExchange. So Aaron.
Yes.
Hello. Remind us again your day-to-day job or your week-to-week job and how you use Salesforce.
Sure. So I was, my career has actually been in marketing. So I started in business development, doing alliance work, and then moved pretty swiftly into marketing. And as part of my last role, I was doing demand gen, also marketing ops, and sales enablement, and fell so desperately in love with predictive marketing and AI-driven marketing that I quit my day job and went over to head customers at Mintigo. I'd been a customer. Now I run customers with a team of other former customers. And I spend my day building predictive models to help my customers find who the right targets are for them to market to, sell to, and so on. So I admin Salesforce sort of on the weekends. We have a really powerful marketing team, but I have not been willing to let go of the platform I'm too in love. So I do a lot of my own work for my team, sort of to supplement and take that burden off of our ops team and support them on a lot of reporting and things like that as well.
Okay, perfect. So then let's take a look at your stack. And now tell us, is this a real set of solutions, or is this like your dream set of solutions?
This is a real set of solutions. I am not using all of them in my dream ways. So I think that we're a fairly small organization still, and there are some things that I would love to have in the stack that are not there yet. There are other things that I know are much more powerful than we are getting value out of yet. So a lot of these are just in sort of an entry-level deployment at the moment, solving sort of one very specific need. But I would love for this to be richer and bigger in the future. I've been involved in the community for quite a long time, and I feel like there are so many amazing solutions that I can't wait to leverage them all.
Okay, so the ones that you are leveraging right now, tell us, talk to us about your analytics and your collaboration stacks in particular, because we haven't had those particular apps before. So tell us all about our friends at Visible.
Yeah, so can I take you through sort of a journey, the way I think of the way we work with our customers and our prospects?
Yeah, absolutely, that'd be great.
Perfect. Okay, so my marketing hat stays on my head indefinitely, regardless of what job I have. So the way I really think about the way we leverage Salesforce and leverage these apps is the journey. So identifying the right people to bring in, acquiring those individuals or companies, engaging them, converting them, and then measuring the output of that work. So sort of if I can take you through sort of a step-by-step with a handful of these. One of the things that I'm really delighted to be working with right now is ZoomInfo. So Mintigo is an AI-based SaaS platform that identifies ideal customer profiles and prioritizes leads and accounts. But what we also are looking for is new prospects outside of that existing database. So while as a marketer and somebody who takes phone calls from salespeople, I don't generally love list purchases. But what we have had amazing success with ZoomInfo is really being able to get hyper-targeted and hyper-filtered, leveraging not just our own propensity scores that we generate and the fit and intent data, but really getting specific with them right down to the headquarters and person location, direct dial data, things like that. So that when we have leads that are either incomplete in Salesforce because we've gotten only an email address, for example, and not a lot of this other rich data, or we know who we want to go after, we've got target accounts in Salesforce and the sales team is looking for new leads, we leverage ZoomInfo for all of that with a lot of success.
Perfect. And then how does that tie into Slack?
So with Slack, where we would go is actually for real-time updates on data changes. So we are, I'm a big fan of having a limited set of platforms that my users live in and trying to keep things pretty tidy. So once we get leads into the system, we can, you know, acquire them through different marketing campaigns and engage them with things like Zoom meetings. What Slack actually does is allows us to see the day-to-day activities that are happening in Salesforce in a place that we live in real time. So I might be going about my day not in Salesforce. I'm in meetings, I'm on calls, I'm hosting webinars, but Slack is actually providing me real-time updates via the integration with Salesforce of changes to the status of my accounts. Chatter can actually connect directly into Slack, so I'm seeing that in real time where it's still living, where I want the actual data repository to be, which is Salesforce, but I'm able to ingest that in a place that I can, you know, text somebody from my phone via Slack, add a comment there. And it also allows us a lot of celebration as an organization where we can participate in these steps, either if there's a hindrance or there's a success step, we can actually come in and support each other in real time.
Perfect. Okay. And then round us off with SurveyMonkey. How does that help with collaboration on your team?
Sure. So on the customer success and customer experience side, we work really closely with our customers to make sure that what we're providing them is not just a product and a platform, but really a journey and an experience that is fulfilling for them. My goal is that my team in the end is so, you know, incredible for their customers that they all, you know, get scooped by the customers and that our customers all get promoted. You know, those are all successful graduation steps to me. So SurveyMonkey is something that we use to actually be able to gather feedback from our customers on a regular basis and feed that into the work we're doing overall and tracking all of that with Salesforce as the hub.
Okay. And then what else would you like to tell us about? We have not spoken about Ringlead before. Maybe you can give us some insights about how you're using it.
Sure, I can tell you about that. And Visible is my other current true love. So Ringlead for me is an awesome tool for being able to do sort of fuzzy matching of data. So oftentimes we'll get a lead in and there's actually an existing account. The way that Ringlead actually displays within Salesforce allows us to see from an account level, not just the contacts that are appended, but the associated leads that work at the same company, whether that's because the company name matches or the email domain, for example. It makes it a lot easier to do a lot of that appending and sort of converting. It's also our preferred tool for data deduplication. So we end up with a lot of duplicate leads where people switch companies or they come in through multiple sources and are not quite identical. So the system natively, Salesforce has been able to identify those as dupes, and or the manual process of going one by one is just really too heavy to be efficient. So what we use Ringlead for is that deduplication and also the sort of the matching and merging into accounts.
Perfect.
And then the last step for me is Visible. Yeah. Is that okay if I tell you Visible? Perfect. Same wavelength. Visible for us, so as a marketer, and I think most marketers have heard sales say, you know, I want more leads, or those aren't good enough leads. And then marketing says, well, sales didn't work my leads. Everything that I do in my work is really oriented around sales and marketing alignment. And I don't think we often think of Salesforce necessarily with that as the sole goal. We think of it as a single source of truth, perhaps. But what Visible does for us is allows us to truly measure the impact of our different channels and our different programs so that we can have informed and collaborative conversations across multiple departments. And same thing with our customers. A lot of them are running on Visible as well. And so we can actually take that data and say, are we spending in the right places? Are these channels converting at the expected rates? And what can we do to better educate our marketers and our sellers about what's working and what's not, and make savvier and better investments ongoing so that we can drive better success for the business.
Can you give me a specific use case where Visible has worked for you?
Oh, I have many. I think probably the most interesting thing is being able to see different digital and different physical campaigns together. So historically, I've had a lot of challenges where there's one set of places you might go to find your digital engagement results and then separate engagement results for the physical campaigns. And for me, the continuity between those is crucial. So we're making our 2019 budgeting is actually largely influenced by the data that we're getting out of Visible right now.
Wow, that's some real ROI on your product then.
It is, and it's, you know, it's easy to say, like, I think marketing budgets nowadays are oftentimes even larger than IT budgets and marketing technology budgets in particular. And so being able to say, gosh, am I going to go spend $100,000 to sponsor this trade show, or am I going to run this digital campaign, or am I going to have this email nurture program? There's just really been no other way in my experience to compare those types of things all in one platform. And being able to see that, it will many, many, many times over cover that investment and further beyond that.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Let me give you the same question to think about that I did to Chris, which is if you could have any app that would be free or paid, or even not yet invented that you could invent. Have a think about what that would be. And Amanda, can we move along to our last couple of slides where we can remind people how to find us? Okay, so there we go. You'll find all of us at Dreamforce. Back to Chris. Chris, tell me what you were thinking about as your dream app while we were hearing all the fun things that Visible can do and determine whether or not it will take you to the trade show for next year.
Well, so for me, I just think that voice search is the next frontier. And so I think of what we ask our end users to do in Salesforce is search and find the records. You can add favorites and all that. But what about for those sales reps or those end users who are maybe trying to multitask? Maybe they're getting ready in their house and being able to ask questions of CRM and have it be a configurable app where we could pre-build some questions and essentially just design the queries so that we're enabling voice assistance for Salesforce and giving those tools and easy administration to the admin so they can continue to upgrade it and think of that next thing that even Salesforce may not be thinking of.
Is this your dream stack, or this is something that already exists? Sorry,
no, I don't know. I don't know if this exists. I'm saying that would be my dream. That would be my dream, is being able to kind of have that configurable voice assistant within Salesforce. It can work from your phone, work from your Alexa device, or whatever smart speaker is your choice.
Okay, so then I think you need to go visit our friends at Aperio. I've actually seen a demo where they have this working already. They did a demo to one of my customers, and yeah, they've already been working on exactly this kind of use case where you can have like, hey, Alexa, tell me how my team is doing by showing me my sales dashboard for this week. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Geraldine, I feel like you are that app. Like, we just say these things to you and you know.
I could maybe tell you about the different apps, but I don't think I could tell you how my team is based on.
One step removed, but highly, highly powerful.
Yeah, no, thank you. Okay, Erin, what was your dream app?
Okay, so you know this about me, that I am obsessed with SwiftRock, which is a solution to help you actually manage your email replies, automatic email replies, and gather a bunch of data out of those, be it the email signature, so phone numbers and things like that, and also referrals from the out of office. It says if Erin is gone, contact Geraldine, and actually creating new leads for that. They were just acquired by Drift, I learned this week, which I'm very excited for them, but I would love that type of solution to be available within Salesforce, so that what I try to always do is get my sales team to log activities and actually make sure that everything lives in the repository. If you do not document it, I cannot measure it, therefore it doesn't exist in my world. And so being able to actually do something like get those out of office replies captured, auto append all that data into Salesforce, and being able to create new contacts on an account or things like that. I think that is extremely powerful as we move more into not just account-based marketing as a buzzword, but really account-based selling and demand unit selling. I think the more we know who is in that account and who's relevant in that account, it would be awesome to have that as an AppExchange app.
Okay, so that is something that I totally have no answer for. So we're going to have to dream some more, dream that further a little bit on the
I'll make
on
a
the
few
whiteboard.
calls and see what I can do for the next webinar.
Well, thank you for stumping the chump. That's for sure. Okay. Let me hand. Thank you, both of you. This has been really, really interesting, and you both have some fantastic use cases for how you're solving real life problems using the tools from the AppExchange. Really appreciate Chris showing the insights for HFF and their data, and Erin, really appreciate you showing us how you can collaborate better with your AppExchange tools. So let me hand back over to Amanda. She's going to wrap us up and tell us a little bit about how you can join us on one of our future webinars.
Thank you, Geraldine, Erin, and Chris. You did an amazing job. It was a really jam-packed webinar with lots of apps. So hope everyone had a good time. You can build a stack at allinthestack.com, just like Erin and Chris did. And if you do that and tweet it, you have a chance to be a future speaker on our next webinar. Our webinars are every first Wednesday of the month. Coming up next, we have Dreamforce. We actually have 4 AppStack sessions at Dreamforce. So if you want to see Erin and Chris and everyone in real life, please join us right at Dreamforce. It's going to be a blast. Also, we have our AppStack webinar continuing on November 7th and also on December 5th. So we are taking October off just because it is the week after Dreamforce, and I know we're all going to be tired, but we'll pick it right back up in November. Thank you all for hanging on. I know this went on a few more minutes, but it was so great. I loved it, and would definitely talk even more if we could. Have a great day. Hope everyone is well, and thank you for being a part of this webinar. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Amanda. See you at Dreamforce. Thank you, Chris. Thank you.